Welcome back, rankers. Sorry this week's show's a little bit late. That's because I've been nearly dead. This lurgy that's going around Melbourne at the moment, believe me, stay away from it. It just keeps coming back. It's like Sylvester Stallone. All right. This week I just wanted to touch on not only just choosing the right keywords, but how you use those keywords. Interestingly, over the last month, I've been getting a lot of hits on our own website about the subprime mortgage issue. Surprise, surprise. The reason I'm getting all these hits is because I've got one story in my blog, the title of which is US Subprime Mortgage Problem Explained. And then there's probably another 10 words, but it ranks up in the top 3, top 4 for phrases like US subprime problem explained, US mortgage problem explained, all these different variations. So even though that heading essentially targeted one phrase, it's now ranking for a lot more than that with less than 25 words. So although people say a phrase might be competitive or it might not be competitive, you're not just trying to rank for that one phrase, you're trying to rank for variations of that as well. Things that you won't even imagine that people might type in that you can rank for and will come up. And the story itself, if you go and do the Google search yourself, it's purely someone else's material off YouTube that I've embedded in my own site because I thought it was a really, really good clip about the subprime mortgage problem. So go and Google that and see what you think yourself. Now, that brings me to another point. It's all very well to take content from sites like YouTube and these sorts of places, or even have an RSS feed, which, if you don't know what that means, go and Google it, of content from another site. However, don't expect to rank for that content. I'm not ranking for the YouTube video. I'm ranking for the words I put around that YouTube video. If you go and take content from another site and put it on your site, apart from all the ethical issues, Google isn't going to rank you for that content because it's already appeared somewhere else. Google will rank the site that it finds first with that content, and then subsequently, if you come along and try to reproduce that content, you're just not going to get ranked. And at best, Google will ignore you. That's what we call the duplicate content penalty. The other thing to remember too is that, and we struck it again this week, and I've got nothing against web developers. They're very good at building websites, most of them, or very good at designing websites, most of the ones I've been anyway. But they're not marketers. And a client that was with us for probably over a year decided to go it alone earlier this year and just try a few different strategies, which is fine. But they got a new web developer in the process, and that new web developer has blown away all the SEO work and replaced it with what they think is good SEO work, things like putting 50 key phrases in the page title. It's just bad news. And this company is going to disappear out of Google within the next 5 days, unless they do something. We've already told them about that. But the thing to remember is this. SEO, search engine optimization, is about having good, relevant content. That's it. And just structuring it in such a way that it makes sense to the search engines. Like, if you have a page about the subprime mortgage, then you call your page something that has something to do with the subprime mortgage problem. If you write an article about the subprime mortgage problem, you have a heading that relates to the subprime mortgage problem. Pretty logical, simple stuff. Then after that, what you need to do is get links back to your site. Number of ways to do that. In fact, I went to a do down at Frankston in Melbourne. It was about trying to get businesses involved in technology. Massive turnout. There was probably over 250 people there for sort of this one night event. And one of the things that was mentioned and people kept asking was, how do we get backlinks? Well, one of the best things that you can do for backlinks, especially if your customers are local, is go to your local council. Most local councils have directories of businesses, and get yourself listed in there, because if you're listed in a local government directory, you're going to turn up for searches with that suburb in them. And quite often it's easier, a lot easier and more relevant to you, therefore your customers are going to convert better, if you can turn up for suburb related searches. That's if you're only servicing a particular geographic area. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully I'll be feeling a lot better next week, and I will be feeling better next week, and we will get the show out on time. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.